Um, oh, hi, this is Charlotte Pierce. I'm the producer of Ready Row USA, and welcome to our show today. It's the second in our series of the arts of rowing. We have Jonathan A. Wright. Hi, Jonathan. And we go live with video and audio a couple times a month. We love to have people follow us on social media and subscribe on your podcast apps, because we pull the audio after the live stream, and you can either watch the replay or you can listen to it on your way to rowing. It will be about 20 minutes. So we'd love to have you subscribe and review us on the podcast apps. This is the Arts of Rowing 2022, and I think we'll keep it up in the coming years. But so far this year, we've had Jonathan, who's here with us now today, a poet and builder and craftsman. And then Daniel Boyne, author, and Nancy Diesner, who's a printmaker and sculptor. I have one of her pieces. And Susan Wood, and she's a painter and a high-performance para rowing coach. And Eamon Glavin, who's doing an incredible production. He's a documentary filmmaker and photographer, and he's doing an incredible piece on from zero to Olympics, I think it is, something like that. So following these people who train and go to the Olympics basically from kind of nothing. And so Eamon's got a great thing going. Is your wife able to get on?
Yeah.
It says live in 3 minutes, but that was 5 minutes ago.
It just says live in 3 minutes. I don't know who.
Yeah, we're live now. So, and first I'd like to mention our sponsors who kind of help us keep the lights on and the bits and bytes flowing. Resolute and Sykes USA, or Sykes Australia actually bought Resolute and is creating a dynamic partnership with that fine builder, that Resolute. Burnham Boat Slings is in New Hampshire, and they go all around the country. You probably see all their boat covers, and what a great company. I'm going to go up and row with them in a couple weeks, and so look for some more pictures. Thank you, Burnham. And my website, Ready Row USA, or our website, is produced by or designed by goodinklings.com. And Good Inklings, Laura Williams is the CEO and chief creative officer, I guess. She is offering a website audit for our listeners. And this can be a very valuable thing, because when I first brought her on, my websites were slow. They had inconsistent design, and she's just brought it all around, completely around. So I love my website. Thank you, Laura. Let's go to our guest of honor, Jonathan Wright. How are you doing?
Great. Yeah. I had a 10K on flat water this morning. What else could be better?
What could be better? I saw that like 2 mile an hour wind thing, and I thought, I've got to go out. But I didn't. Something came up, but I did. I've been trying to do my 15Ks when the weather behaves. So
there's nothing like the Connecticut River to produce a headwind in both directions, which is something we're researching.
That's called a tornado, isn't it?
I think so. It's just beautiful, just so engaging. And unlike the Charles and other places, we have long stretches where there's virtually nothing on the shore.
I know. Whenever I go out there, I think of, like, I get my boat on, and it's like, this is so massive. It's just.
If we didn't have 12 feet of rise and fall, maximum 6 feet typically in season.
Yeah.
The rowing capital of the universe. It's so pretty and beautiful. So anyway.
And does it ever get to like the current get too brisk? I know the Merrimack can be like that.
Yes, we row up to 20,000 cubic feet per second.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty high.
It can get up to 40. and the whirlpools that suck you down, you'll never be seen again. But
be safe.
That's right.
So do you row out of Northampton Community Rowing?
No, I did. That's where I learned. It started at the ripe age of 47,
Yes.
but then moved on into sculling. So I row out of Yankee Rowing, which is across the river in Hadley.
Okay.
And
is that where you met our friend Nancy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Nancy connected me with you because I said, I'm looking for, people to feature and, kind of explore this rowing arts connection. And I have one of her pieces on my wall, her boats. Have you've seen those, I'm sure.
Yes, and one of my books, make sure I don't do this backwards, that I did this chapbook this last fall has a gorgeous piece of hers that she allowed me to use. I love that.
I mean, she fishes these pieces like grasses out of the river and then makes prints. And it's just so wonderfully integrated in, her skill in rowing is admirable too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to say, if you listen, we'll say the episode hashtag at the end of the show, and we'll give you some goodies. We follow people around the internet if they use the hashtag, and like rowing gadgets and gear and services and stuff like that. So, Jonathan, all these things, poet, you've authored books about buildings. You're a green builder, a craftsman of amazing furniture and things like that. And you're a rower, of course, and you coach. Is that correct?
Yep, all those things.
Anything else, like chicken farmer or?
I cook.
You cook?
I'm my wife's chef, and she's my bodyguard.
That's formidable. That's pretty impressive, to have a bodyguard. So would you like to read a little, I'm not a little, but a poem so that we kind of get a flavor of your connection with the water and the sport and the universe?
The painting behind me is done by a artist from Hatfield, Massachusetts, right up the river here. I collaborate a lot, and it's a waterscape, a riverscape. And
what is his name?
Russell Stephen Powell. He doesn't. He's not a rower, so he's in no other way is he defective.
Is he the one that produced that Watershed magazine?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's your stage here for a second.
Okay. After the Rain was published here about 7 years ago by Gallery of Readers Press. And there's a piece in it called Rowing in Shad Season. I think many of you may know that shad are from the herring family, and they're what are they? Andromedous. Anyway, they start in the freshwater and they end in the freshwater. They come back to the very place from which they started. Somehow they know that particular gravel shoal where the egg that became them was dropped. So that's one of the mysteries of the water that just draws me in, the miracles of life that are just embedded and we might not notice. So anyway, this is Rowing in Shad Season. She's hurled her love-mad way upstream. After surfing in tidal estuaries, slipping over sandbars, weedy rocks, and concrete ladders, weeks of plunging headlong, blind, driven by destiny, she drops 30,000 eggs in her sex life debut and farewell, under the watchful eyes of osprey, hawk, and heron. Finally now, fury gone, she rolls slowly onto her side, her up eye filmed with dawn sky, her dorsal slack. Her puckered seersucker pajama skin cheek catches my glance. Eye to eye, we meet in the river, wet, cold, and spent, wondering what will become of us. So as you may know, they have that one shot, drop their 30,000 eggs, and it's over. So we have there's a shad season when they're coming upstream, and then there's a shad season when the bodies go downstream. And it's a reminder of many things about life, whatever you make of it. So glad to share that piece from that book. But so the river, the water, and rowing as an activity, I like to tell people you can't stay pissed off on the water for 90 minutes.
You can't.
Cannot
it's like
hold.
My motto is life imitates rowing. It's like it's just, that's the way I live now. If I have anxiety or something like that, I go out and it just goes away. I just let it go down the river.
Yes. I like when I'm coaching, I like to tell people, when you're a golfer, you get better and better, and you take fewer and fewer strokes, and eventually you probably don't take any strokes at all. You just look at the ball and it goes there. Whereas in rowing, we take more and more strokes as we get better. The strokes get easier. And the life lesson, which is that rowing is infinitely editable. So that is to say, when we take that stroke and it comes out at the finish, the water says thank you, for coming by. Doesn't remain. You have to go hunt it down. You just take another one. And so it's that, for me in writing, it's that sense that we can just keep going, and what's good will be emergent, and what's not, we'll just let go of. And so you get attached to the particular words. And so those are, that's the way that I write, is in more of a continuum, and it's a rhythm, it's physical.
And then do you keep working over your pieces, or do you? Yeah. So would you take that poem and kind of?
So I don't have anything to write with on the river, but I words and images collect themselves, and I write them down again. But the rowing is cleansing, it's like a mind shampoo. The rowing, just kind of like, and you rinse it out and say, okay, so that really wasn't important anymore, and this was really fun. And what about the legs on that heron?
I'm always stopping to take pictures of herons. Like they're just miraculous things.
How do they even stand up? I
don't know. And then they're like, at certain times of the year, I think like last month, there would be a juvenile, and the adult sort of showing it how to fish, I guess, right under the bridges there on the Charles.
They were around. We have peregrine falcons under the Coolidge Bridge, which is the main artery. One morning a few years ago, was all this carrying on and squawking and splashing around in the water. And that was the morning and the moment when the young were literally kicked out of the nest to go figure out how to fly and to swim.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
I did. I have a good friend, some good friends who are falconers, and they were instrumental in getting the DDT ban, and because they went up and did all this research with eggs, the DDT, and I guess the 60s or 70s probably was thinning the eggs, and they were down to 400 individuals in the United States or something. But the falconers were so I know
there's one of the things I've learned in this green building world is that we're really on our own here. That we think of the EPA as taking care of all of these things and so on, but they actually only track 8 chemicals, and there are 10,000 introduced in American industry every month, and so we really have to pay attention. And I think that's when I'm rowing. Well, first of all, I often hit things because I go into my space and there's one buoy out there and I'll run into it. But
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I don't call them navigational markers. I call them gravitational markers. They get a hold of the
buoy magnet myself.
Bow. They just grab the bow and just bring it right in for a bullseye.
They just do, yeah. Oh, and Nancy Deisner we have a question from Nancy. Do you ever find that the rhythm of the stroke works into the rhythm of your words? You kind of
Yeah, it's a
referred to
great.
that a little.
Well, first of all, I love that picture of the dog with the
I know.
burqa, whatever it is. Anyway, so yes, so absolutely, the breathing, the natural breathing process,
Mm-hmm.
which is either shortened or distorted or ignored, except if we're meditating, comes to the forefront in rowing while I'm sculling.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's that the drive is the count of one, and then the recovery is the count of three.
Cool.
So we're taking in 3 times as much as we're putting out, and so I find that very restorative and reassuring, and kind of keeps me in my place.
Yeah. Do you write every day, or do you?
It's episodic. I've in for this book, the Season of Dreams, I did a 2-week solo retreat in the shacks on Cape Cod, and that was amazing.
And you have a major. Sorry, you have a major publisher, or you?
No, these are the Living Building book was brought out by the press in Washington State. These others are smaller local presses. Yeah.
But the Living Building book, was that your solo production, or were there other people writing in that?
No, it's a collection of 30 stories. What I found and found in the Living Building Challenge, which is a whole nother topic, but these buildings are in tune with their place and with the planet, in ways that no other process is. And what I found was that engaging skilled craftspeople and labor and designers in something that gives life creates a level of inspiration and understanding of the environment and brings out the best possible work that people can do. When we feel like we're part of the healing of the earth, we thrive. And so, getting from less bad to what does good look like, that's the deal. And that's, and I think, is that true? That for me, that's true. So true of sculling is like, finally at some point in the row, it's not about correction. It's about integration almost, it's about,
and sort of like letting it go. Like one of my coaches, Brian Dino Menachie, I will never forget something he told me. Was like, I'm notorious for working too hard and trying too hard.
Yes.
Like basically wasting a third of my energy on just trying to kill it. And so he says, Charlotte, you just pretend that you have the doves on your oars and you're just going to release them. You look like you're throwing them down on the ground now. I will never forget that. And I think about releasing the doves, just like kind of, it helps my psyche and my rowing, I think.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything unkind about sweep rowing. It's amazing. Just a feat of, incredible feat. But there is in the sculling, when I was rowing team boats, we always seemed to be down to port. I would be port stroke, and when I started sculling, I realized that was because of how I was rowing. I was bringing the boat down to port, and I was like,
I know. You're always thinking it's somebody else.
Year after year, we're down to freaking port, So, but it's so true. I mean, in all the time I worked with Jim Deach, you just when you come up to the catch, you literally unweight the oar handle. That's all you do. There's almost no motion.
I heard Jim say that too.
And then it's just straight back and in here, and with the thumbs over the end, just the fingertips roll, and the oar just lifts itself out of the water, and that's it. It doesn't come up very far. No. It's almost nothing. One of the things I do when I'm starting people out is I get in the water with them. I'm holding the stern of the boat, and I'm standing in the water, and I have them come up to the catch, and then gradually just let go of the oar as I hold the boat. And I said, see where the oar is? See where the top of it floats where it's supposed to. You don't have to do anything. In fact, please don't do anything.
Don't do anything.
Just hold it, just come through.
Do less.
And honestly, it's harder to coach men than women. Because men want to get a hold of it and like get this job done. And it's like, no, all that energy that's up here going around, no.
I know. That's why you need coaching. I haven't had much this year, but I need to get back into it because I need to have someone check on me. Yeah. But we're getting toward the end of our time, but I would love it if you, by the way, we are live streaming, but if you're listening on your podcast apps, we will put Jonathan Wright's images on our blog post, which is at readyrowusa.com. And you can see his wonderful work. He did master craftsman and builder and coach and rower and in Northampton. So I would love it if you could read another book or a poem. read another poem for us. That would be great.
I was thinking this morning, if you look at some of my furniture, there is often there's a curve. And it occurred to me this morning as I came back that the curve on the edge of my coffee tables and that those curves on the one to the right, those are actually the arc of the oar through the water. That is that pattern. So I freehand them. I just draw them out on the wood. And I don't get across the room with a string and a pencil and all that stuff. I draw them, and that's what I realized. That's what I'm drawing. The water is giving me that.
Yeah. And are these commercial, or do you just do these?
They're individual pieces.
Commissions, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are gifts. They're just gifts. That was the piece on the right there is it's called, I can't really see the end, but it's called Japanese temple with keyboard. The legs turn under, so that gives it kind of a temple gate look, temple gate. And then underneath there are walnut and white maple, which for the magazine rack. And my wife came down as a pianist and she said, it looks like a keyboard. I said, damn, you're right.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of those screens in, in Japanese tea houses or,
Yes, the shoji. Yeah.
So
let me just give you something called water love. Swimming is proof the sea never tires of me. Minerals, water, salt, and family. The same love as my human kin. Kisses that linger on the heart-shaped rock left for me. A finger on the lips for a secret kept. The tingling in the back of my hand when I touch your face, more when sleeping than awake. Love accumulates its second chances. Excuse me. Love accumulates its second natures in second chances, in pawns and hands, in my body, on my wrists. Promises surface slowly, rise up for keeping. So that is a water piece, more about being in the water. Nancy's a swimmer. And that's from Season. Yeah. That's from Season of Dreams.
Season of Dreams. So do you have a website, or where can people find
I do, but it's not very useful. This was this is full of photographs that residency was the last of May and the beginning of June. Some incredible opportunities for understanding the place on the Cape. So
cool. Yeah. So can people go to Amazon and just search for Jonathan A. Wright?
Jonathan A. Wright, and I think there are 37 of them or something. But you'll
there's a few, but only one of you.
That's right.
Right. Okay, well let's have you back. I wanted to mention a couple of things that people can find at Ready Row USA, besides Jonathan's wonderful images and work and the slideshow that we just presented on the live stream, we would love to have your club news. If you have an event going on at your club, or you just want to talk about it, we can bring a few people. We do club spotlights, and we can also mention it on the show and in our blog and so forth. I know Philadelphia Rowing has a thing coming up next week that they posted on our club news summer program. So there might be still time to get into that. It's a great, awesome club, just with inclusivity as its middle name. I love Philadelphia Rowing, and we will do a spotlight on them. We did one last year, I think. But club news, readyrowusa.com. We also collect gadgets and gear. So anything you'd love to take in the boat with you, like a little, I don't know, I have this thing that holds a water bottle on my phone. There's also, like little gadgets you can put on your erg and stuff like that. But please send us those, and we'll talk about them. And my books, I am also a publisher. My book, we're coming out with a book about a kid who saves the oceans with his friends. It's
Very
ages
cool.
4 to, yeah, it's a sweet book. That illustrator it's the second one he's done for us. And he also, what's that?
I said, wow. Just
yeah,
wow.
I know. And this is Daniel Fiore is his name. And he did this book too. It's 10 famous authors. And it's a very diverse lineup of authors, including some well-known famous names like Thoreau, but also some just various diverse communities authors. Again, I like 4 to 9, 4 to 10.
Wow.
And we are
such a treat to be able to talk across the edges of the boat and the water and the creative work. It's such a brilliant
I love it.
thing that you put together, because I can refer to it when I'm doing a reading, but to be able to just immerse in this conversation with you and with people who are out there are going to watch this and understand the gift that we are given through the oars and the boat and our ability to
and
relax.
it's like so much, it's so much schlepping, and then you get boat on the water, you get the oars in, you push off, and it's like, this is why I do it. This is why I do it.
Yeah. Running is the easiest thing. You just put on your shoes and go outside. Ken Burns, who was a classmate of mine in college, said, well, Jonathan, making films is 90% carrying things. I thought, those blocks and wires and tubes and stuff. So we just have to carry a boat, and our boats don't weigh very much, right? They're 30 pounds.
Yeah, right.
So,
right. Well, I know it's just so great to have this connection with you, and I would love to have you come on anytime and read a poem.
Well, I'm so grateful to Nancy Deisner for getting us connected here and kind of refreshing my intentions and awareness about what this is that I'm actually doing, as opposed to just pounding my way through it. So thank you so much.
Let's always take another stroke and write another stanza.
Right, and when the oar comes out of the water just takes that stroke and it just swirls away. It's like it's just another. It just goes away. The water
You
just
always get another
that.
chance.
Jim Dees would say, Jonathan, the water was really good to me this morning. And it's like, right.
I know. Yeah. Thank you so much. Jonathan Wright is our guest, and please visit readyrowusa.com to get the full story and more connections with his work. And thank you again. We'll have you back.
Okay. Loved it. Just loved it. Take care.
It was awesome.
Bye-bye.